Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be working on some planting. We've got 4 different varieties of gorgeous shrubs right here. 2 of which I have highlighted before, or maybe 3, and 1 that's new. So this is an evergreen called the Pesto Mugo Pine. It came with our Isley load that they sent out earlier this summer. Now this one only grows 1 by 3. So it's just going to be this cute little boop in the flower bed. I'm really excited about that. Look at the picture. Like this perfect little green circle. And it's hardy to -50 degrees Fahrenheit. Not that it gets that cold here, but it's really tough. And I love having those tiny little accent evergreens that you can tuck in pretty much anywhere that you've got a sunny spot. We've also got the fragrant Grow Low Sumacs, which are putting on their fall color in just probably, I don't know, within this next week. This whole thing will just be lit up with red. They are so beautiful. They grow 2 feet tall by 9 feet wide, but they're not invasive. They're just a super tough woody shrub. So I've got 3 of these around the pond already, zone 3, and it says that they're pest resistant leaves which are not affected by drought, heat, humidity, or snow plows. When I placed the 3 around the pond, I just thought this is the perfect kind of woodland plant that I want in that area, but I had picked up 5 at the time because I didn't know how many we were going to need, and 3 ended up over there, and then I've got these 2 that have just been kind of sitting in the high tunnel waiting, and I've got lots of spots either out in the new property or here in the south garden where I just want something to kind of fill in. I don't necessarily need a bunch of different variety in every location. Sometimes it's nice to have those things that just provide a rest for the eye, which is I think what this is going to do. Then we've got the Limelight Prime Hydrangeas, which we do have a hedge of at the end of the loop out in the south garden. And that's where these are going as well, just to thicken up that hedge. Now these grow 4 to 6 feet tall and wide, so more compact than the traditional Limelight. Zone 3 through 8, they are said to be a little stockier, a little bit tougher, just in their structure. But you'll see when we get out there what happened to ours. Now ours are in there, this is their 2nd season, and we had a gully washer type rainstorm, just like massive downpour of rain, and it kind of weighted down a lot of the branches that had blooms on them. And that could be probably, I didn't like thin them out good enough last year and give them a good enough prune job, so I'm going to be very diligent about that this year. But I think that these will bulk up the area nicely. And the last one is up here. I couldn't fit it. Oh, hey Douglas. I couldn't fit it in the back of the gator. This is a Sesky Gold Dwarf Birch, which I love these. 2 to 4 feet tall and wide. Let me back some of these leaves. Dainty little leaves, zone 2 through 7. And when the leaves come out in the spring, I don't know if it shows it, they're like a gold, like a orange, kind of an orangey red. And then they lighten up to kind of a chartreuse gold color. We've got 3 of these out in the south garden, kind of by an urn out there. I might have a picture of them. And I thought that this one would look great by the pond. It kind of has that more wild look. We gotta find Cheddar so everybody knows he's still alive. You guys have been asking a lot about Cheddar lately. There's Russell. See Russell right there? Come here, bud. Hey, Russell. Kitty, kitty, kitty. He's like, nope, I'm not coming out there. Cheddar is around. He's just more elusive. He sleeps a lot during the day. You know, the other thing I wanted to talk about briefly are a couple other questions I notice this time of year. 1, is it too late to plant, or how late is too late to plant? And 2, should you still be using fertilizer when you plant? So first off, it's really, in my book, it's never too late to plant. I feel like plants are better off in the ground. They're better insulated than they would be if you try to winter them over in nursery containers. So if you're picking up plants that look an awful lot like this, like end of season clearance sales at garden centers, I'd say no matter what time it is, just get them in the ground. Make sure that you water them in, and if you have any long dry spells or windy spells, make sure to go throw some water on, even in the middle of winter. Easier than trying to huddle them together in their nursery containers and keep them watered every 2 weeks throughout the winter. That's what we do with anything that we've got in containers. So I think that the rule of thumb is to get things in the ground 6 weeks before your average first hard frost, which is anything 28 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. Light frost is 28 to 32. But I don't really go by that. We just continue to plant as long as we can manage to get a hole dug in the ground. And the second question is about the starter fertilizer, which is this right here, which is what I use when I plant anything. Biotone starter fertilizer. And I do still use it no matter what time of year I'm planting, because those plants, even though they look dormant and don't have leaves, the roots are still active, albeit a lot slower than they are during the growing season, but they're still working underneath the soil surface. And Biotone isn't a type of fertilizer that's going to encourage a bunch of upward growth and flowering and all kinds of production up top. It's more focused on root production down below, which is what you want. So that is something I continue to do. Anyway, I think we'll head out to the hydrangeas first and get those planted. I've got 4. I actually think I need 5 to finish my my hedge. I'm in a constant state of being one short of everything around here, but I think they're gonna look beautiful. Okay, real quick, we gotta take a look at this. Look at this iris. It's so confused. It's October. What are you doing? Look at how beautiful that is. Soak it in. I'm not gonna be able to smell that again for months after this. Oh, I love the smell of iris. It's such a childhood nostalgic smell to me. Oh, yum. Okay, here we are, Limelight Prime Hydrangea Hedge. I was hoping that they would get 6 by 6 in this spot, but you can see what the rain did. Again, I think that's because of my pruning job that I did. So what I'm gonna do today is pop one in between each one of these. Even though I've planted the buddleia hedge right behind, I still think that that will be gorgeous, kind of towering above the hydrangeas. But we're gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got a beauty berry right there. Might have to move that eventually. Well, that's perfect. I don't have one for this space anyway. Sparkling Amethyst Superbena mass is awesome. I mean, it's awesome. I don't know what we could put here that I would actually like better than this. This is so beautiful. And I hope I'm gonna be able to get in there to dig holes without wrecking it too much. Okay, let's set these out and see how they look, and then we'll make our final decision. Oh, that looks a heck of a lot better. Yep, we're gonna go with it. We'll get those 4 in the ground, and then we'll address this last one next season when we can move the beautyberry, which is growing so great. That's the Jolene one. And then we can pop another here. And at that time, I'm gonna need more anyway, so maybe I'm not one plant short of the hedge. I kind of want to continue on because we're gonna move this hibiscus. If we had like a couple more, maybe we need 3 more. Okay. Let's get those in the ground. Oh, you guys, it's so pretty. Look at all that color. Oh, especially once we finish it to there and once we get this out, because this is just, it's too messy and it's too big right there. So if we continue on the hedge over to kind of where the roses end, and then we can have more of a bank, like we'll continue our bank of annuals if that's what we do next year. We'll just have this nice big hedge of hydrangeas. It's funny, when I was planting this one, for some reason, every time I came back and stood right where I'm standing right now, just to make sure I liked how they lined up, I would always look at this one and I think I need to go rotate it. So I would go back there, which you have to go through the daylilies and back behind the plants. I'd come back here, I'd rotate this one thinking I was rotating that one. And I'd come back and stand out here and think, what in the world? It hasn't moved. And I did that probably 3 times before I realized it was this one that I kept messing with. So there is like a little hole in here. I was trying to rotate it so that I could get it to all line up, but eventually it will all fill in. And honestly, the fall color, like this one's the best. Look at the color on these. I'm not sure that we've had the Limelight's color up real pretty, but not like this. This color's amazing. Okay, while we are out here, this is where the low grow sumacs are going to go. So I'm gonna grab one, and I just wanna plant them sort of underneath this big Norway as just a little bit of a filler. So see this big area right in here? You know, I don't want to put anything that gets too tall because we've got the totem pole grasses. There's really not room to do anything super tall. So if we did something low like this, like right in here, and then maybe another one right over in there. It can just kind of fill in underneath and kind of create this beautiful leafy undergrowth and weed suppressor and all that good stuff. So let's get those in. Looks like we might be getting some weather here in a little bit. Oh, I love these, especially once they color up even more. They're going to be gorgeous. You know, this whole area, like all underneath here, would be beautiful, just kind of packed out with these sumacs. I think they would be awesome. Now, kind of looking in from this angle, you can see I tucked it in over there, and I did that on purpose because we are going to create some kind of like a little secret just flagstone pathway, not a formal one that's, you know, a bunch of pieces, just like single stones that kind of get you through the flower bed if you are over here and want to get out quickly. So it's either going to come through here or it will come around this side. We're not sure yet, but I think it would look good. This strap won't be here for too much longer. It's just here when we had the tree installed, but it'll come through here and kind of weave its way through this flower bed and out this direction. Ooh, the breeze is coming up. It's been on and off windy today, so I apologize if my audio is horrible. Anyway, it would lead you right out here to the grass, which I think would be really nice. But this, oh, I'm just so happy with that. And you can see the little sumac tucked in back in there. Okay, just 2 plants left. I think we'll go put the dwarf birch in by the pond, and that's where this one may end up as well. Or we may end up back out here. I'm not sure on this one yet. Leaves are falling. Pretty. Oh, hey, here's the Sesky gold dwarf birch right here. Oh, and a pretty butterfly. Look at that. Oh, on the coral berry. Aren't those gorgeous? They shine, and those are full size right there. They won't get much, I mean, they might thicken up a little bit, but they're just kind of this little dainty looking leaf in there, kind of that ethereal look, and I just love it. They're so pretty. What do we think of it right there? Maybe? It's hard to tell because there's so many leaves on the ground right now. They kind of distract focus a little bit. That looks pretty. Kind of tucked in behind the aronia, in between the Serbian. I kind of love that. Yeah, I think that's where it should go. Okay, I think that these are my favorite plantings of the day. So as we walk into the pond patio area, you can see that Sesky gold dwarf birch just kind of peeking out from behind that Serbian spruce, tucked in behind the aronia that we just planted a couple of days ago. Oh, it's such a pretty texture up there. And it's gonna really show too, like the brightness that it has during the season. It's gonna really contrast these spruces right here. I think it's a really pretty location for it. Oh, and again, 2 to 4 feet tall and wide. This one gets, oh, I think like, what was it, 18 inches? 18 to 24 inches. It'll be a step down in size. And then this will be our tall grassy texture with more red in it. And then we've got the blue. We've got like all the colors that we need right here. I love it. Say hello to the fish. There they are, a few of them. And I popped the little pine in right by this big rock at the entryway. Because it only gets 1 by 3, it can kind of just fill in and tuck underneath the rock a little bit. I think it's a perfect little accent evergreen, and it will soften that stone just a little bit. And we'll get some other things in ground covers. I think it'd be pretty to have some sempervivums kind of like tucked up underneath here. And then eventually we will have a brick border. So that will be the only thing that will be semi-formal about this area in the end. Because we will have a brick border along this mulched area, like the one we have lining that pathway. So the bricks will line our entire driveway like they do on the other side, and they will line this side as well. So that will come in, and that will help kind of keep our line nice and tidy, and it will keep gravel from getting into the mulch and mulch into the gravel. And I want to see the birch from this direction. Oh, that's so pretty. I love it. And you guys, that is going to do it for planting today. We just have really a small handful of plants that we're going to be working on over the next 1 or 2 weeks, getting in the ground. I'm hoping to get them done in the next couple of weeks anyway. And I've got to tag dahlias. I know I started to do that a few days back, and my progress halted where we stopped the other day. So I only have 2 rows done. I've got 5 more rows to get done before the blooms leave, which I feel like now that the temperatures are starting to be like legitimate fall, we're going to start losing a little bit more interest out there. Anyway, that's a different subject for a different day. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.